What is this weird tool I found in a flea market? Around 30 centimeters long, and the spring seems to travel a little but is stuck. The little blade is somewhat dull, and I think it's attached to the metal from the handle. And the casing is what moves on the spring. It's bound up pretty good. Does anyone know what this thing actually is? It's an eel killer, a classic tool for killing eels with spring-loaded blade for severing their vertebra. Normally, anglers kill fish by stunning them first and then piercing their heart with a knife. With an eel, you cannot do that. They are very slippery, and their skin is quite tough. Simply place the V-shaped fork behind the head of the fish and press down the blade for a quick and painless kill. What is this heavy metal object made up of several plates bolted together on a wooden handle? There are some markings on either side, including what we think is the letters C and a large W. When we purchased this object from an antique store, the owner thought it may be some type of arborist's tool. And from my recollection, I believe we paid around 40 Canadian dollars for it. Does anyone know anything about it? Stoneworker here. It's a bush hammer, used to flatten rougher surfaces of stone when chipping would remove too much but filing too little. They have become much harder to find since electric grinders with diamond wheels are so common and cheap these days. But these bushing hammers leave a much more natural-looking finish when used correctly. It was patented on October 8, 1889 by Luther M. Nutting of Concord, New Hampshire. What is this intricate iron contraption that opens on one side? The two holes appear to attach to something or hang it. This came from my grandparents' house, and my great-grandfather owned a foundry in New Haven, Connecticut in the early 1900s. I'm thinking it may have been made there. Has anyone ever come across one of these before? It's a 19th century cast iron buggy or wagon whip holder, designed to hold the whip in handy reach when not in use. These are attached to any solid flat surface of your carriage, like the dashboard or on the side of the body. I found this while renovating my bedroom, and it was under the wall close to the floor. It's the size of a quarter. I was told the scene on the reverse looks like a pattern on dish plates called the willow pattern. Any guesses as to the meaning? Thanks in advance. It's a Royal Arch 2.5 Tribes pin, an emblem from the Orange Order. It is not related to actual Freemasonry. It's a pseudo-Masonic organization founded in Ulster, Ireland in 1795, during a period of Protestant-Catholic sectarian conflict, and devoted to keeping Catholics down and Protestants on top. I am a member of Eastern Star myself. It's connected to Freemasonry, along with York Rite, Scottish Rite, and a number of other appendant bodies. The Orange Order is not. What are these wooden-handled objects with metal blades? They were a gift to me from my mother-in-law. They came from a trip to China by a family friend, and I thought they would be cool for wall decor. They are 90% wood. The one on the bottom has a metal blade, and the one on top only has a metal pointed tip. The handles have a sort of fancy design or art in the wood. Any ideas? It's an early 1900s Cambodian rice sickle and planter. These sickles were traditionally used in the rice fields. Curved part was used to gather a sheaf of rice plants, and then with a skillful turn of the wrist, the rice was cut with the iron blade. The rice planter was used to make a hole in the soil for the tiny bundles when they were replanted. It created a narrow hole, which was deep enough to protect the delicate roots in the replanting process. What is this tool? About 1.5 feet long, with a wooden handle. The metal on the side is flexible, and the only marking on the back of the metal says Pat Penned. I assume patent pending. The green painted handle is wooden, and the keyhole in the flat piece of metal on the top looks like something you would hang on a nail. Does anyone know what this is? It's an antique pie lifter, from circa 1900 and probably earlier, used for lifting a pie pan out of an oven. The center plate is lower than the brackets, allowing for support to lift the pie out of the oven, and enclose it for lifting with the brackets. What is this 3-piece wooden pole with a handle? Exactly 1 yard in length. connected by two metal shafts and a threaded metal piece on the end. It was left in a closet by the previous homeowner, and I have no idea what it would screw into. It is fairly flimsy, so it would not support much weight. Thanks in advance. It's an old shotgun cleaning rod from the early to mid-1900s. The cleaning tips are typically consumable and should be available in sporting goods stores and similar. The wood and soft metal construction would help with not damaging the inside of the barrels while cleaning. What is this round threaded ferrous metal object with holes? There's a word hope and number 4 on it. I found it in a lot of old hardware from a long-time builder that had stuff dating back as far as the 1920s. The lot also included some small working model steam engines, which could be related to that or other engine stuff. Does anyone know the use of this item? It's an antique electrical box. It was patented as an outlet box on September 9, 1913 by William H. Hope of Newark, New Jersey for the Hope Manufacturing Company. Here's mine from my house, built in the 1930s. What is this circular cap-like object made out of brass or copper found on an Italian battlefield? The diameter is about 5 centimeters and the thickness of about 8 millimeters. It has some sort of mesh on the inside that's bolted on by 2 rivets. Someone suggested a cap from a vehicle's radiator, but this was found on a very undrivable terrain and the closest trail is around 2 kilometers. Any ideas? It's a World War II 81mm mortar fuse cavity cap. I also found these caps on Italian positions from World War II. Here's one on YouTube Shorts. What is this tool I found in my grandma's basement? I found it while packing everything after her death. She was a colonialist in Congo, so maybe this thing came from there. I noticed there is a spring, so when that metal pin gets inside it, it shoots back. It also does not seem to be a tough tool. With some more force applied, it looks like it would break. It is also impossible to grab and hold something decently with this thing. It cannot be used for opening or closing jars and bottles. Any ideas? Please let us know down in the comments. Thanks for watching. Let's make life fun.